Trail runners, welcome back to Chasing Gold. We're talking to some of the top athletes coming to this year's Javelina 100, chasing the golden tickets to the 2024 Western States 100. On today's show, we have 28-year-old Selena Langner. She's from Parks, Arizona. She ran her first official ultra at the Santan Scramble 50K of January of this year, where she placed first overall for women in 450. She is a science writer and's on the Rad Rabbit running team. Selena, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, really excited to chat with you ahead of Javelina this year. I recently learned about you. We saw you out at Mammoth Trailfest. You placed third this year, competitive field, and that was just 13 days after winning the Mogollon Monster 42K. How did that back-to-back race combo go for you?
I had so much fun at Mogollon. We have such a great trail running community here in Arizona, and I saw so many of my friends out on the course. So I did Mogollon mainly as a kind of training run for Mammoth, so as my last long run. That felt fine. I think I could have pushed a lot harder at Mammoth in retrospect, but I'm really trying to kind of cultivate a spirit of joy when I race. Because I'm new to racing. So really trying to make sure that I'm having fun and staying in a positive mindset while I race. So I was really, really happy that I did that at Mammoth. It's a tough field, and it was so fun to be out there leapfrogging with the top women. It was great.
That's awesome. I'd love to learn a little bit more about your background in running in general and then how you got into the sport.
Okay, yeah. So I did track in high school. I don't know if shot put actually counts as running experience, but it is track. I got into running in college, mainly as a way of commuting at the time. I didn't have a bike, and I'm from a really rural background, so I grew up doing like a lot of manual labor, a lot of hiking, walking everywhere. So it was really normal for me to commute by foot. But I was kind of pressed for time. And I wanted to get to some parks and get back to nature. So I was like, well, if I want to go to the park, go for a hike, and get home, I've got to start running so I can do it faster. Because I just didn't have a bike or a car, and I couldn't really afford the public transportation. And so I just strapped on this Jansport backpack, threw like an apple and a book in the back, and would just like go for these 20-mile runs.
What was your commute? What was the mileage of your commute?
I was easily like walking and running like 20 miles a day, and then I'd longboard like another 5, and it just escalated. And then this last year, I was running a lot just in the woods. I'd never really considered racing, and I started getting really sick. So I got a coach so that I could learn how to run more intelligently, so that I could run more and not get sick. And I did the the Black Canyon training runs that y'all put on, and I had so much fun. And my coach was like, "Why don't you register for the race?" And it just escalated from there. And now I'm just loving training and really trying to figure out how to race and how to do that fast.
Yeah, and now here you are towing the line of 100 milers. So what is the furthest distance that you've run up till this point, whether that's part of a training run or a training day or a race?
So I guess the furthest I've gone in one go was just 75 miles, but that wasn't a training run. That was just me doing an adventure. So I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, no, I was just curious how far you have traveled going into your first 100. Let's see here. So you basically just started racing this year. Talk a little bit about maybe some of your other races you've done so far this year.
Yeah, so I jumped into Santan Scramble because it's really snowy where I live, and I couldn't fathom doing another long run in the snow. I was really burnt out on that. So love the idea of popping down south and getting to see some sun. And then I did Black Canyon, which was, I just went into it without a lot of race experience. I didn't quite know what I was doing at all. And I was really lucky that I met a lot of the Arizona runners. We've got such a good group of female runners, especially in Flagstaff and Phoenix. And they taught me a lot, and my coaches worked with me a lot to just learn how to eat while I run. I didn't know how to do any of that, or things like taking salt or heat strategies. So really kind of refining that. And then I'm really hoping during Javelina to refine how to work with a crew and kind of figure out how to do that very efficiently, because that's definitely not something that I've done before a lot.
Sounds like you have an interesting training approach potentially. How has your training been going, or how are you approaching your training? I guess you have a coach now, so are you logging just big miles each day? Are you doing speed work? Anything specific for Javelina?
So I guess most of my season up to this point has been mountainous 50Ks. So Speed Go, Mammoth, Tiger Claw, things like that. And that's just been a lot of fun. I really wanted to work on my hill climbing because it felt like something that I didn't have a ton of experience with. And then learning how to race 50Ks, I think are great for that, because you still get that ultra experience, but you don't need to spend as much time recovering. And then so right after Mammoth, pivoting to running some more flats. And I feel like already if you're training for Speed Go, you've got a lot of time on your feet. So yeah, I work really closely with my coach, Bailey Kowalczyk, who's just been great, and having a lot of fun. I'm lucky I live in an area that borders the National Forest, so I have kind of endless Forest Service roads to run. I run a lot of deer paths, fell running, just a lot of variety to keep things really interesting, fun, and also keep challenging my body.
Nice. Have you made it down to the Javelina course yet? And if so, has that helped you to develop a strategy around the race?
I haven't made it down yet. I've been so busy. I work a lot, and balancing running with that can be really challenging. So I haven't made it down. I would love to. I'm hoping to. But I do have some friends in the area who've run the race and have given me kind of the lowdown. So I'm running a lot of Forest Service roads right now, some sandy stuff, still a few climbs to keep things fun.
Can you speak to your approach to the race? Do you have a plan in place of targeted times, or are you going to just run by feel out there and see where you kind of stack up in the field of women out there?
Yeah, so I always like to say, like, if I want to be a big kid one day, if I want to run with the best, then I've got to run with them. I've got to try. But I do like to run my own race, and I'm a fairly conservative runner. I don't go out with a ton of stoke to begin with. I'm pretty mellow and focused. So I'll definitely be starting off very conservatively and then hoping to speed up. I know that my legs can hold me for a long time. I've done a lot of stupid ultras self-supported before I started trying to be more competitive. So I know my legs have it in them. I just don't want to blow up in the heat or go out too fast, because I don't need to run super, super fast. I just need to be able to hold a pace for a long time.
Awesome. Can you speak to any sort of nutrition plan you might have for the event?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm big on eating. Now that I know how to eat while I run, I drink a lot of Scratch, and I'll switch to Super Fuel if it's too hot and I can't eat. And then otherwise, I just love Spring Awesome Sauce, the Scratch Matcha Chews, and that's pretty much it. pretty fond of just eating the same thing again and again and again. And then definitely salt.
Awesome. Well, with that, we're going to move to our 10-question fartlek round. Selena, are you ready?
I hope so.
Okay. What sneakers will you be wearing for the Javelina 100?
The Nike Ultra Flies.
Awesome. Will you be listening to music or podcasts during the race?
Potentially music. I'm kind of fond of like the Shrek soundtrack right now.
Okay. All right. At what age did you stop trick-or-treating?
So I'm from a rural background, so like trick-or-treating was loading up in my parents' work van and then driving to like my grandmother's house. So I don't know when that stopped or if that counts as trick-or-treating.
Maybe. I don't know. What costume will you be wearing next weekend?
I will be going as a runner.
Amazing. If you had to fuel your race on candy, what type?
Ooh, oh my gosh. I'm like, the first thing that came to mind was Fun Dip, and I'm questioning that choice.
Maybe not super practical.
It might be fun.
Breakfast on race day. Are you team bagel or team oatmeal?
Neither. I'm really trying to figure out how to make freezer waffles at the race, and I haven't figured it out. I will let you know if I do. If not, I'm going to have to do oatmeal.
Okay. Yeah, let us know how that plays out.
If you see me with like a waffle iron at the race course, you'll know what's happening.
Okay. If you figure it out, you might have a crowd. That's for sure. If you could choose a walkout song, what would it be?
Like after the race or before the race?
Before the race.
Oh, there's too many. I can't answer this quickly.
Okay. Let us know. Best hallucination at an endurance event.
Okay, so the only time I've hallucinated is while I was crewing. I've never hallucinated. I think it was just weird auditory stuff.
Okay.
I had been up for like 30 straight hours.
Okay. Right on. What race were you crewing or what event?
It was a couple weeks ago at the Bear.
Okay.
I did Mammoth, came home, and then drove over to Utah, Idaho immediately after.
Gotcha. If you could recommend any running-related item to a new runner, what would it be?
Some good friends, and if you don't know what you're doing, get a coach. I never thought that coaches were for normal people, and I got my first coach and totally changed how I run and made it so much more fun.
Interesting. Last question. What place are you finishing at the 2023 Javelina 100?
I will be finishing. I don't care if it takes me 30 hours. I will be. You see me trudging across after I take an 8-hour nap. Unless I get injured, I'll be finishing. That's the goal.
Love it. That's fantastic. Great mindset for your first 100. Well, Selena, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. Best of luck next weekend. We'll see you in the desert.